feeding hundreds of fellow comrades. An unseen duty, but a vital mission, fueling the unit's day with excellence. We are the Army Culinary Specialists. For Korean men, military service is a sacred duty prescribed by the Constitution and a precious time that marks a chapter of their youth. Every Korean man serves for approximately 18 months, usually in his early 20s. This is the 21st Infantry Division, South Korea's northernmost front line in Yanggu, located just south of the North Korean border. 5:30 a.m. The 4 Army cooks responsible for feeding the division are just waking up. The morning meal begins at 7:30 a.m., so they wake up earlier than the other soldiers. After a brief wash-up, they head to the dining facility under the guidance of the food service officer, a sergeant who manages the cooks and oversees the military meal operations. The Army cooks change into cooking uniforms as their day begins in earnest. This is the inside of the dining facility where military meals are prepared. It is a place where various cooking tools are kept clean and ready for use. When it comes to serving meals to a large group, hygiene is the top priority. After stepping through the sanitizing foot bath, they put on their cooking gear, boots, color-coded aprons designated for different tasks, and gloves. The food service officer begins assigning roles for this morning's menu. Army meals have evolved to accommodate the tastes of young soldiers who are more familiar with Western-style cuisine. Among the 4 cooks, Sergeant Lee Han-hyuk holds the highest rank, with only a few weeks remaining until his discharge. Below him are the workhorse cooks, Private First Class Yoo Dae-song and Private First Class Son Yeon-ho. There's also the youngest member of the team, Private Lee Chan, who transferred here just a couple of weeks ago.
안녕하십니까. 저는 21사단 수색대대에서 복무하고 있는 02년생 일병 손현오라고 합니다.
조리병이신데 좀 이때 전에도 조리를 하신 경력이 있으세요?
저 같은 경우에는 조리병에 약간 관심이 있어서 지원해서 들어온 모집병인 케이스인데, 그렇게 되면은 종합군수학교에서 3주 동안 이론과 실기를 기반으로 교육을 받고 나서 자대에 들어오게 됩니다.
Those with culinary experience and professional qualifications from civilian life are often given priority when assigned to Army cook positions. Private First Class Yu majored in Hotel Culinary Arts at university, as did Private Lee.
지금은 오늘 아침에 들어갈 만다린 샐러드가 있는데, 그 만다린 샐러드의 수채류를 지금 작업하는 중입니다.
Since aprons serve different purposes depending on their color, the Army cooks follow the system strictly.
일단은 빨간색 앞치마 착용하셨는데 파란색으로 한국어부터 이유가 있어요.
이제 아까 제가 입었던 앞치마는 전처리용 앞치마라고 하는 거고, 제가 지금 가려면 조리복 앞치마입니다. 왜 지금 이걸 갈아입었냐면은 이제 모든 샐러드의 전처리가 끝났기 때문에 이제 버무리는 작업을 할 건데, 그 작업에서 조리라는 작업이 들어가기 때문에 그 이유로 옷을 이렇게 갈아입습니다.
6:25 a.m. There's barely an hour left until meal distribution. The kitchen springs into action. Private First Class Yu, having finished preparing the salad, begins frying the bacon.
저희 21사단 수색대 같은 경우에는 이제 오픈 주방 그리고 저기 별도로 된 치사장 이렇게 두 개로 나눠져 있는데, 그릴을 활용한 요리들은 대부분 오픈 주방 활용해서 하고 있습니다.
About 100 people will be eating breakfast. The food is officially displayed. Just before the doors of the dining facility open, Private Lee writes down today's menu. And the food service officer prepares a display sample of the meal for the soldiers to see. "7:30 a.m. The dining facility opens. Under the food service officer's direction, the soldiers go through the sanitation process. Soldiers fill the seats. Some just back from an overnight mission, and others just about to head out. Their plates are filled with nutritious, well-balanced hot meals. The Army cooks don't eat with the other soldiers. Instead, they remain in the back, cleaning and washing cooking equipment. Fortunately, the soldiers wash their own plates. As the soldiers gradually clear out, it's already 8:30 a.m. Only now do the Army cooks sit down to their late breakfast.
다른 인원들이 먼저 음식을 먹고 배식대도 다 관리하고 부족한 음식도 채우고 뒷정리도 다 해야 되기 때문에 다른 인원보다 좀 늦게 식사를 하는 편입니다.
9:30 a.m. A supplementary food supply truck pulls into the dining facility. 3 times a week, a vehicle fully loaded with ingredients arrives at the unit. Supplementary food is a general term for all food items except rice, including soups, side dishes, and snacks. Under the direction of the food service officer, the Army cooks check whether the inventory matches the delivery records and store each item according to its proper storage requirements.
지금 냉장 고기를 한 번 더 이중으로 싸가지고 냉장고에다 넣는 작업을 하고 있습니다.
Perishable items such as meat go directly into refrigerators and freezers. Vegetables are trimmed first, then stored.
양파 자체는 깐 양파가 들어와서 이제 저희가 칼질만 하면 되는데 옛날 같은 경우 이제 양파 껍질까지 저희가 다 깠어야 돼서 그나마 이제 많이 편해진 편이죠.
As soon as the supplies have been organized, lunch preparation begins without a break. Today's lunch menu is avocado and pollock roe mayo bibimbap. Rice is a staple food in Korea, so weighing and washing rice is part of the daily routine.
한국에는 밥심이라 밥 메뉴가 많은 편입니다. 총 100인분을 해야 돼서 총 쌀 10kg를 씻고 있습니다.
Once the washed rice is placed in the rice cooker, it is fully cooked in about 30 minutes. Private First Class Son is busy arranging the rolled omelets on serving trays.
오늘 점심에는 이제 일품 메뉴라고 메인 메뉴 하나에 나머지 이제 간편식 곁들여서 먹는 건데 아보카도 명란 비빔밥이 나오고 저는 이제 계란말이랑 계란 후라이를 준비해서 계란말이는 반찬으로 나오고 계란 후라이는 이제 아보카도 명란 비빔밥 위에 올라갈 예정입니다.
There's about 1 hour to go until the lunch distribution begins at 11:20 a.m. Sergeant Lee is preparing spam, which will be served as part of the bibimbap.
야, 네가 할래? 밥에 들어가는 스팸을 꽂고 있는데 전 입은 신병이나 얼마 안 된 애들은 이제 좀 하기 힘든 이제 좀 그래도 왕고참이 할 수 있는 거지 않나 생각합니다.
With about 20 minutes left, the freshly cooked spam, warm rice, fried eggs, rolled omelets, and takoyaki are arranged for service. Before distribution begins, Private Lee Chan starts placing food samples into stainless steel containers.
지금 보존식 담고 있는데 저희는 매 끼니마다 보존식 냉동고에 144시간 동안 보관하고 있습니다.
This is called preserved food, a food sample kept separately for epidemiological investigations in the event of a food poisoning outbreak. Army cooks are also responsible for safeguarding the health and well-being of personnel after meals are served. After recording the preservation date, time, and menu, he heads to the preserved food freezer.
보존식은 여기 보이시는 보존식 냉동고에 보관을 합니다. 지금 보존식 냉동고에 총 6일치의 보존식이 보관되어 있고 6일 전에 넣어놨던 중식을 빼고 새 중식을 넣습니다. 여기 보이시면 중식 이거를 빼고 새 거인 오늘 중식을 여기다 넣습니다. 이렇게 보관하고 있습니다.
11:30 a.m. The distribution begins. Soldiers returning from their morning operations are first in line. These are personnel who conduct high-intensity reconnaissance operations along the front line.
좀 힘든 작전을 가느라 날씨도 덥고 산지도 하면서 많이 허기지고 힘들었는데 조리병들이 준비해준 맛있는 식사하고 이제 좀 더 힘을 내서 나머지 남은 오후에 매복 작전도 착실하게 수행할 수 있을 것 같습니다.
The meal is eaten not only by enlisted soldiers but by officers as well. Meanwhile, Sergeant Lee is scrubbing. He's cleaning the pot he used to cook the spam. He has to clean it quickly because the spam residue can burn onto the surface if left too long. (2 p.m.) After the lunch rush, a brief moment of relaxation is in order. Whenever they get some free time, they're drawn to one place: the Post Exchange. The Post Exchange is a military store where soldiers can buy everything from snacks to daily necessities, much like they would in civilian life. Tax-free prices make it an affordable treat. A recent increase in military pay, now reaching up to 1.5 million won per month, combined with a government-matched savings program, helps these soldiers return to civilian life with a stronger financial foundation.
아침에 일어나가지고 사실 점심까지 바로 만드신 거잖아요.
맞습니다.
굉장히 피곤하실 것 같은데 혹시 버티는 동력 같은 게 있을까요? 저는 얼굴 보고 버틴다 생각합니다, 저는.
맞습니다. 장병들이 식사하는 모습 보면서 뿌듯해서 그거 하나로 버티는 것 같습니다.
제대로 하고 앞으로 뭘 하고 싶다라던가.
월요일부터 요리에 관심이 많았는데 이제 여기서 하다 보니까 더 흥미를 느꼈고 지금 전역 후에 목표는 일식을 하는 거여서 일식 자격증 따는 거나 요리하는 거 그런 거에 대해서 많이 물어보고 얘기도 많이 합니다.
저는 식품공학과인데 장병들이 어떤 음식에 좀 선호도가 있는지 완제품이 어떤 모습이어야 요리하기 편한지 이런 걸 좀 연구하면서 나중에 제가 음식을 개발할 때 이런 걸 참고하면 되겠다 하면서
18 months is by no means a short period in the life of a young man in his 20s. But military service doesn't only take time away. It's also a place to learn new skills, gain new experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow soldiers from all across the country. 3 p.m. There's still some time left before dinner preparation begins. However, the soldiers, now back in uniform, are heading somewhere. Serving as an army cook requires more than cooking skills. it also demands communication.
상병 여인도 되어 있습니다. 충성.
The Dining Facility Operations Meeting is where soldiers review food satisfaction surveys and discuss ways to improve both meal quality and dining operations, ensuring the facility runs smoothly.
잔반이 많이 나온 메뉴들을 보면은 용사들이 비선호하는 메뉴들이 좀 많이 투부가 되어 있습니다.
여기 양쪽 다 보시면은 5월 29일 금요일에 잔반 삼치구이, 그다음에 뒷장에 6월 5일에 고등어구이. 이거는 만족보다 불만족이 더 높고 5월 27일에 오삼불고기 같은 경우에는 해산물이 들어갔음에도 인기가 많은 메뉴이기 때문에 소스를 첨가한다거나 조화를 살릴 수 있는 레시피를 생각해 본다거나 좀 더 잔반이 적게 들어오지 않을까 생각합니다.
그리고 추가로 더 말씀드리고 싶은 거는 6월 7일 일요일 저녁 탄두리 닭구 있지 않습니까?
Although led by the battalion commander, the meeting encourages open discussion, allowing cooks to share practical feedback from their daily experience.
이런 메뉴들이 좀 더 자주 나왔으면 하는 바람이 있습니다.
우리 용사들 의견을 최대한 반영해서 좀 조정이 될 수 있게끔 급양 쪽에서 관심을 가져주시면 좋을 것 같습니다. 고생 많으셨습니다.
Eventually, the meeting comes to an end.
이제 환목하고 바로 취사장으로 돌아가겠습니다.
However, their workday is far from over. After changing once again, it's time to return to their own unique battlefield, the dining facility. 4:20 p.m. Gearing up in orange aprons reserved for deep frying duties, the Army cooks begin preparing dinner. Tonight's menu features pork cutlets with snow cheese and rosé sauce. This giant fryer is where the pork cutlets will be deep fried. Feeding more than 100 soldiers requires a massive amount of oil. After one final review of the procedure with Sergeant Lee, Private First Class Sun gets straight to work. With guidance from his senior, the oil reaches the ideal temperature right on schedule. It's time to get to work. He is fully equipped with a face shield, heat-resistant arm guards, and an automatic temperature control system to ensure safety. When preparing food for a large number of troops, confirming that every item is fully cooked is a critical step in preventing food poisoning. Perfectly done. Now, Private First Class Sun fishes out the cutlets. He'd worried about meeting the deadline, but with timely assistance from his senior, the meal is ready exactly on schedule. Meanwhile, on the different part of the kitchen, the remaining cooks are busy preparing other dishes. Private First Class Yu takes charge of today's soup, dakgaejang. Dakgaejang is a spicy Korean soup made with shredded chicken, scallions, and a variety of vegetables. Once the soup is ready, it is transferred into a large mobile stock pot equipped with a built-in warming function. Finally, the dinner is served. While the soldiers receive their meals, the cooks monitor the serving line and continuously replenish the trays. Only when the soldiers are nearly finished eating can the cooks finally sit down for their own meal. They are the first to arrive at the dining facility and the last to eat, yet they always keep their spirits high. As soon as their late dinner is finished, they begin the meticulous process of cleaning the kitchen. Scrubbing not only the utensils, but also the floors and countertops marks the end of today and the preparation for tomorrow. Once the kitchen is spotless, they sanitize their aprons and finally change out of their work uniforms. 7:50 p.m. Summer in Korea means the sun is still up. But as the lights in the dining facility go out, their long day finally comes to an end.
마지막으로 소감 한번 말씀해 주실 수 있으실까요?
진짜 두 다리 뻗고 쉴 수 있을 것 같은 느낌이 듭니다, 지금. 오늘 꿈도 아마 완전 편안한 좋은 꿈을 꾸지 않을까 싶습니다.
오늘 너무 수고 많으셨습니다.
감사합니다. 고생 많으셨습니다.
Unlike the rest of the battalion, the cooks remain on base to carry out a mission entirely their own, providing 3 meals a day. It may seem ordinary, but it is an essential part of every soldier's daily life. Because it is so deeply woven into the routine of military life, their contribution often goes unnoticed. Yet, they will continue to carry out this vital mission with pride. Tomorrow, the day after, and every day that follows, until their discharge. Good night, and see you at the next door.